So far. Hello,
Hi, everyone.
welcome to our podcast.
Yeah, this is Emma and Hayley, the Gemini twins podcast. Welcome to our very first one.
Yes, it's very exciting.
Yeah, so we thought we would jump on and do a podcast. Hayley and I have quite frequent chats, probably once a week, and usually what we talk about is, our lives are very different, but when we talk to each other, we've got similarities going on, and they're usually quite deep conversations, but they're also fun and insightful, and we get a lot out of them. So we just thought we would do a podcast because there might be people out there that might resonate and also be feeling what we're feeling or can relate and get value out of that.
Yeah, and it definitely seems to be a lot of collective energy, and a lot of it is, associated with the moons and astrology. So yeah, it's just very interesting how energetically connected we all are. And yeah, so we thought it might be insightful if we shared what's come up for us the past week, and we can share a little bit about what we experienced and how we got through it, and possibly what might have come up for us energetically or healing wise. So yeah,
Yeah,
could be a bit fun.
absolutely. Yeah, a bit of fun. It's exciting. And we'll probably add a little bit of human design in there as well. It's something that we've both explored over the last couple of years, and we love delving into a bit of human design as well. So there'll be a little bit of everything. And I just stop. We'll let it that bit. About the name. So we weren't really sure what to call ourselves. We're still not really sure. We did obviously our names, but then we've played with the idea of the Gemini twins. We're not sure if we'll stick with it or not, but we both are Gemini. We're actually born 2 days apart in exactly the same year. What do you love? Mole. I was going to talk about it.
I knew it because we have a matching bowl.
Yes, we above the same ear. What ear is it? Right ear. Yeah, right ear. We've got exactly the same mole. So we are connected, and we are Gemini twins. We're both Geminis, and it is Gemini season. So we thought we'd go with that. We're not sure if we'll stick with it, but we just thought, why not?
Yay.
So I guess maybe Hayley, what has been going on for you in the past week since we last chatted?
Yeah, so it's actually been a pretty big week. Like I felt like I got a little bit derailed, almost got played by a narcissist. So yeah, it's kind of brought up a lot of stuff. So just in summary, I'm going through something quite significant at the moment, and sort of looking at all options, and it's a really big step, and it's quite a difficult one. But I was sort of ready to sort of step forward into something that was feeling quite good, and it was sort of feeling aligned, which is why it really kind of derailed me a little bit. But it's funny because then I started sort of leaning in towards this decision, and as I was taking steps forward, I started noticing these little feather signs that were making me sort of relook and maybe question, and just, is this exactly the right move to be making? So yeah, it was just really interesting that I was sort of getting those little that guidance, I guess, that hang on a second, just be very careful with where you're stepping. And I think being grateful that I am in that amazing place at the moment where I am present, and I am able to feel and see when that guidance is coming through. So basically, yeah, the situation I was about to sort of step into was unfortunately a little bit of narcissistic manipulation. And unfortunately, there was other women who got played by this particular person. So yeah, I was very fortunate that I was saved by what was coming through, and was able to get stopped before I stepped in. to what was about to happen. So it was quite full on, and it really knocked me. And it's really taken me probably a good 3 or 4 days, 5 days to sort of find my feet again. But yeah, it brought up a lot though. Like it really did bring up a lot. And I think I called you when I was all like trying to be all positive about it all and looking at the, those things where, yep, well, it's good to see that there is guidance and there is those things where the universe really does have our back. And it really is always protecting us and guiding us and that sort of thing. As I think in the past and like the old version of myself, when something like this would happen, it would derail me, but it would really knock me and I would be down for quite a while and feel like I'm a victim and really go into that victim state, I guess. Whereas this time it's like, well, don't know what, actually I'm fortunate because I was actually protected and I was saved because, yeah, okay, I nearly stepped in and I got a bit excited about the situation. So I was obviously disappointed, but looking at it in another perspective, I was actually very fortunate that I didn't go forward, and I saved myself an enormous amount of heartache and making a wrong decision that would have really hurt me, I think, in the future. So
yeah, it was massive. And I remember when we were talking about it probably a week ago, we went for a walk on the beach, and it was more when you were in that space of, yes, this is right for me, and it did, and I could feel it. It felt so right.
Yeah.
So it was such a big shock, but that you had, it was just interesting that you had signs before you discovered the shock that, hang on, is this really right?
Yeah.
Which kind of maybe prepared you for when you discovered when you were shocked with the information that you received, that you were kind of already, the universe was kind of giving you little clues to say, hang on, is this right? So it wasn't as probably impactful, like it was still massive, but it wasn't, you probably were a little bit more prepared.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that was another thing that we sort of, came to the conclusion of, I guess, is that being in that flow, we're able to maneuver with that energy and those decisions, and being aware of what's coming through rather than, I guess, again, the old version of me would be like, okay, well, I'm making my decision and that's where I want to be. So I'm just going for it no matter what. And I'm just going to bulldoze my way there. And then, in the end, I'm going to go down a path that is so wrong for me. Whereas being in that flow, you're able to go, oh, I'm going this way. Actually, no, I'm going to go this way. No, I'm going to go this way. Okay. So it's amazing, isn't it?
Amazing. Yeah.
How when you are in that flow, you will be protected and guided. So,
and it's so interesting because driving here, I was thinking about, well, what's come up for me this week, and that is exactly what I was thinking, is that I felt really in flow and really guided. And I did a yoga, and it was probably about a week ago, and we were to develop a mantra, and it was breathing in, I am here, breathing out, I am, and then you could add whatever you wanted. And I was guided to add, I am here, I am in flow and guided always. That's just what come to me. So I'm like, okay. And I've been saying that mantra all week, and I really feel like it's happening. And I love it because you go, oh, thanks. And it's such a good feeling. And it's, I'm sure you're the same, and perhaps people out there listening are the same, that you know when you're not in flow, and it can feel really like, how did I get here and how do I get back into that? But when you're in it, how good and easy everything feels. And even if it's not what you think it might be or hope it might be, that how that just still flows. And I've been seeing again, and this comes and goes for me as well, but a lot of angel numbers over the past week. And for me, and I feel like you can Google what angel numbers mean and whatever, but for me, I don't tend to Google a lot. I go with what I feel that signifies, because I feel like, and this is going off a bit off tangent, but I feel like we all have the inner knowing, and we need to tap more into that rather
Yeah.
than Google what does this mean, what does this mean. You
Yeah,
need to go with
seeking
what,
externally rather than
yes,
if we do know.
yeah, and
Yeah.
just really going, what does this mean? And for me, those angel numbers signify you're on the right track.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just all that reassurance
Yeah.
of, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
So much.
Yeah.
Wow.
And not that I had anything majorly significant like what you've had go on, but
Well, you've just had something happen this morning,
yes,
though.
I did. So I was telling Hayley just before. So it's definitely not as big, but it is significant. So yeah, big. So I decided to wash some of the people in my household's sheets, and which doesn't sound like a big deal anyway. So I was guided to do that. So I was putting them in the wash, and I found something um, that was quite significant. And I'm not going to share what it was or if it was good or bad or what it was, but it was obviously I was meant to find this thing. And again, it just made me go, even though there's things that now signifies and that I will have to address and do things about. It was just like, oh yes, I'm in flow because I was meant to do this, and that's that, being in flow and being guided.
Yeah.
It's such a great place to be.
Yeah. No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's it, because if you didn't get, you obviously had such a strong intuition that I need to go and do these sheets today, right at this moment.
Yes.
And find what you did.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I decided to do it. I was going to yoga, and I was kind of running late. I'm like, do I put these up? Because I still had washing in the wash. So I was like, do I strip the beds so that as soon as I come back from yoga, I can put them in, or do I just strip the beds when I get back from yoga? But for some reason, I was like, no, I'll strip them now, which made me nearly run late. But anyway, that was obviously that's what I was meant to do. So it's going with that guidance, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And what do you think? So with your big thing that happened, what do you take away from that?
That's a good question.
For me personally, the first thing that come up was that you, like you said, how much you trust and how far you've come, but you haven't let it bottom
keep
you
me
out.
down. Yeah, I think that's a huge thing to see. I have compared the old version to the new version a lot over the past week because I've handled it in such a different and new way. And also I've been really respectful of like nurturing myself and giving myself that self-love that you mentioned too the other day. You know, and we are on the full moon as well, and I do get very affected by the full moon also. So I guess again, rather than just putting on that masculine energy and toughening up, I've really had to sort of drop into that feminine energy and really nurture myself and let myself feel it all, like be in that, you know, in that yucky feeling and that sadness. And it's, you know, it's a little bit of a loss because it's not, you know, I didn't get what I was hoping for at the time. So yeah, I guess I've really just gone within and really just loved myself.
That's good, and that's a growth thing too, isn't it? Because allowing yourself to feel those things is not easy, and we kind of tend to avoid that.
Yeah, I think so. I think we definitely go for external ways to you know, to band-aid and to just sort of pile on top so we don't feel what we need to feel. And you know, I guess on this healing journey we've learned that the biggest way to heal is to feel and to shine the light on that pain, and also just to use it as a reflective tool now, and use it as growth, and to go, okay, well, do you know what, it's exciting because that wasn't the right direction, so the right direction is coming. I just need to be open to where that goes. So yeah, there's always a silver lining somewhere.
So true. And I think it is it's something that I've definitely learned to do, is just taking time and like you said, nurturing yourself, whether it's meditating or going for a walk on the beach. You get so much clarity just from being in nature or whatever it might be, and how that
just going and grounding, doesn't it? It just kind of resets everything.
It does.
There's bare feet on the ground, on the sand.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm here in bare feet. I've just been for a walk on the beach to do a bit of grounding before we did this. So it's something that I love to do. And when it's sunny, especially, which it is today, to get out is so good.
Yes.
And then there is, like you mentioned, the full moon. There's a lot going on around that, and you are very good at understanding the moons.
Oh, yeah, I've sort of, I think being in that flow again, I think I'm really starting to align with the moons. And I actually just had a reading done the other day, and that actually came up. She said that you were so connected to the moon, and to even go and charge my body under the full moon when it's out. So I did last night. I went chasing the moon and went out to the cliffs at Janjuk and stood there, and it was just so invigorating and amazing, because the last few full moons we've had here, it's been really cloudy, so I don't think we've actually seen it very clearly, but I actually went and watched it rise. But yeah, it was so amazing. It was so big and beautiful. But this is a really strong full moon. Full moon in Sagittarius, this one. I was doing a little bit of a read up on it last night, actually, but I've kind of left my moon book in the other room.
Well, I did look at the meaning behind it. I can't remember it exactly, but I think it's about like kind of getting rid of the karmic energy, stepping into your purpose.
What you're
here to do, and kind of getting rid of worrying about being liked or other people, what other people think, and just really stepping into you and who you are.
That's a big one, isn't it? And isn't it funny, because even without looking at the meaning of the moon, that's exactly what we're focusing on at the moment. It's really like, right, let's step into this purpose and this path. And it's so full on, isn't it? It's like this big spotlight shining on it, and there's no avoiding it any longer.
And that is why we've decided to do this podcast, because like Hayley said before, we've been doing this healing journey for a couple of years now, and we want to share and help others and heal, and we both do our own different things with that as a business. But we've probably kind of held ourselves back, and when we were talking, like, let's, we have these conversations, let's just do it. And then when you look at the astrology and what's going on with the moons and stuff, oh my God, no wonder we're feeling like, okay, we're ready to step out, and we're ready to step into that purpose and share what we know.
And even everyone I follow in astrology as well, I think really the last probably 2, even 3 months, it's really been focusing on this, hasn't it? Where it's like there's no more mucking around, there's no more time to plan, there's no more time to prepare, there's no more time to study or learn. It's now time to take action and just step into it and just do it, and push through the fears and that sort of thing. So it's, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but me and Emma are exactly there.
Absolutely. And I'm sure there would be people out there listening that could definitely resonate with that, because like you said, we've done all the learning, and it's now time to step out and share it. And I actually last night went to a sound healing for the full moon. It was amazing, and it was so good. But I went there tired because I'd had a late night the night before, so I pretty much fell asleep, or whatever I did, astral traveled, I'm not sure, but I was out to it. And I woke up at some stage, and I'm not sure what part of it I was, but I was like, oh, I just kind of nodded off. But I felt like it was kind of like big worm feeling or snake feeling going through my body, and it was really like I felt like my hands were pulsating like this. It was really weird. And I also felt third eye, really strong third eye energy, and like it was kind of like opening up. It was amazing. It was like really powerful. I haven't had that at a sound healing before.
That's amazing.
I know, and it was a little bit scary too. I was like, okay, I'm protected, white light myself, because I was like, what is this? Because it did feel quite full on, but yeah, it felt really powerful. I just had that feeling like third eye intuition is really opening up.
Yeah.
And I did the same on that when I was driving home because it was dark after it at the end. So I chased the full moon and stood out in it because it was so bright, wasn't it? It was amazing. And just let the energy come in. I'm like, okay, I'm ready for it. Heal me, full moon, and I'm ready to step in.
I love it. So powerful.
So good.
And there's something about this one too. It feels like it's extra potent.
Yes.
I don't know if it's because it's in our month or
yeah, I feel like it is too.
June full moon.
And astrologically as well, which is also maybe something useful to know between the 1st and the 7th of June. So we're in that period now. Astrologically, it's the best time to manifest for the whole year. So I've been really spending a lot of time on that as well, like manifesting.
Yeah. So yeah, we have to be very careful of where our thoughts go. So we want to make sure we're bringing in that goodness. And also if there's anything that we want to let go of, we're still under the full moon energy at the moment. So 3 days either side is the best time. So if you want to do some letting go and write it down, burn it, and write some wishes and manifesting, and what you also might need some strength for as well on this, you can always ask the moon to help bring that energy in to get you to where you want to be. And yeah, whatever you've got going on in your life, you might just need that little bit of assistance. So yeah, it's a good time. It's a really good ritual, isn't it, and practice to get involved with is the moons, the full moon and then the new moon. And then you start to sink in with the moons. It's so powerful, isn't it?
It's so powerful and such a good kind of reset time. Like it kind of gives you something to, okay, focus on and reset and do your rituals and self-care like you said before.
Yeah. And I love that, the reset, like especially for some reason, like, well, the new moon, obviously, because it is more about the manifesting of the next month coming. But it's like an exciting time to go, okay, right, well, maybe, the last month I might not have got to exactly where I wanted to get to. Okay, so let's do another, let's revisit those goals and those intentions, and let's really put some intentional energy into what I want for the next month. And also, what you're wishing and hoping for that month. Obviously, there's no cutoff to that. So that can be for the next 6 to 12 months. So it's just really, giving us those goals, isn't it?
Yeah. And that time to go, okay, I might have gone a bit off track, or like you said, or I might just to refocus on where you're going and what you want, and tapping into that power of the moon.
It's amazing.
So good. It's so good.
Oh,
but
is there anything else that
I don't think so.
Been brought up for you?
No, I think that's probably about it. It's just been about that being in flow, angel numbers, which have been amazing, and then the full moon.
Yeah, it's been a big week.
Yeah, it hasn't been a lot going on, isn't it?
It's like it's only been a week.
Yeah. What about you? Anything else?
No, I think that's pretty.
Yeah. And I hope any of it or some of it resonates with you guys that are listening, or that's added value to your day. And when we do these podcasts, it's definitely not scripted. We're just in flow, and just whatever we're downloading and feel guided to talk about, we'll just talk about it. So we'll definitely jump on again and let you into our little chats that we have quite often about all this woo stuff that we love.
I know, we love it that much that we can't get enough of it.
No.
But it really helps us, I think, to when we talk about it, it actually just makes you feel like, okay, well, I'm not alone and I'm not the only one sort of feeling this at the moment. Like, it's actually, a lot of it is collective, or it is astrological. So it just kind of makes you feel better, doesn't it, in a way? It's like, okay, I'm not alone here. Yeah.
And quite often when we do have these chats, which is interesting, we'll go off on our day, and then we'll message, one of us will message each other at the night and say, how's how this happened? Or I don't know, just kind of talking gives us more clarity of, and then things just come in, or
yeah, it does, doesn't it? I think after our catch ups that night, generally something pretty big happens for both of us.
Yeah, it's so good. It's just, yeah, so I definitely encourage you to find yourself a person that is on the same wavelength as you to do these chats with yourself, because yeah, it does give you clarity, and maybe it's part of our human design that we do need to talk things out to give us clarity, but
Yeah,
that definitely works.
and if you don't have anyone else to do that with, you can do that with us.
Absolutely.
Because it's, you know, a lot of people aren't into this, you know, and sometimes you can feel quite isolated on this part. And yeah, so, you know, you can always obviously join in with our chats on this. You know, you can send comments and messages through, and
we'd love to hear from you if any of it resonates. I'd love to know what's been going on.
Wow.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us. Yeah. And
can't wait to see what this week brings.
I know. We'll see what comes up for us, and jump back on it in a week's time. See you, everyone.
Bye.